If I do it, it's in a major way. Yeah, I can make a movie from my day to day. Yeah, I ain't have a way, but I made a way. Yeah, when it come to mics, I hit the fade away. Yeah, LBJ, when I make a play. Yeah, steak and eggs, what I ate today. Yeah, got me cooking up, watch me scrape the plate. Yeah, cooking up, watch me scrape the plate. Yeah, I need the food, if money is food.
What y'all think about that, man? I ain't asked y'all that last time, man. That's, we try to make that the cooking up theme song. Like, I don't know if it's going to be for the intro of the show, because we have an intro, but I am working on revamping everything. But we definitely got to incorporate that somewhere, somehow. My man, Rod Matthews, a musical genius. I really feel like he slept on, highly slept on. Well, people know he great. He just didn't get the shot that he, truly deserved. He has done some things with some people in the industry, Travis Porter and all like that. But, we working on that though, man. Hopefully my man get a shot. Hopefully I'm I might be the reason behind that. Might help him get that look, get that play. But y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Smooth, and we right back at it. And I still don't have a name for the show, but I'm just going to keep giving y'all work as I should, period. I want to get into the routine of doing this as often as possible, talking, connecting, and building with y'all. So when I ask for your opinion, I truly want your opinion. So if you got an idea for the name, let's see it, man. Somebody might win $1,000. It's like, nah. But, I don't know. If it's a good-ass name like that, we, might have to do what we got to do. But y'all already know what it is, man. We right at it. So, we're going to start with, like, a little update on what's been going on. I just dropped that last video. So far, so good. Like, I wasn't expecting it to do, like, to do something to the Watusi. I just wanted to see if people was going to like it and fuck with it. And so far, I am getting good feedback. So that is a good thing. So we here. We're going to stick into it. Yesterday, I had Esso and Hynaken come down from Bag Fuel. They used to be on, Mav Hoffa's show, My Expert Opinion. They've actually been on a lot of shows. It's the crazy part. Like, a lot of people always associate them with Mav because it's been the most, talked about. And I guess Mav probably is the biggest show that they've been on. But, like, they've been on This Is 50. Hynaken got a show now, Air Pollution, with DJ Clue. So they've been moving and shaking and still moving and shaking, making a lot of noise. But for me, that was really like a real milestone, because Cooking Up, it's called Cooking Up 215, but eventually this will be a global thing. Like, I will not stop, period. There's nothing I can even add on because I'm just going to keep going. So Cooking Up will be like a worldwide thing. Like, I have people that watch the show in London. So technically we already really, worldwide if you want to get funky, you know what I'm saying? But I really want it to be recognized worldwide and definitely at least national. You know what I'm saying? From here to the West Coast, we definitely want people to know who we are and what we do. Of course, I have people that watch the show in LA. You know what I'm saying? That's one of my bigger markets too. It's like probably like my top 6, one of my top 6. But yeah, so having Esso and Hynaken is dope because I feel like they come from and are part of the top podcasters on the East Coast. When it comes to hip hop and hip hop related podcasts, they are amongst those guys. So it's like, to me, you got the Joe Buttons, $1 Million Worth of Game, and Now It Is What It Is up there. And then you come down and you got like Mav Hoffa and maybe a couple of like the Rory Amals, the Mav Hoffas. I feel like those come in on that level. And then, I think Bag Fuel is on that level too. Like, I think like they might be right under Mav. But then they got Air Pollution. Air Pollution is fairly new, but they definitely have been interviewing all the mainstream artists and all that type of stuff. But I definitely don't think just who you interview does not dictate what level of a podcast or what level of entertainment you provide. Because you could interview all the dopest people, but some of your interviews are trash. Like, we got some platforms that interview nothing but mainstream people, but I don't see the longevity in these podcasts because they truly don't provide value. They may provide some type of relief for people, but I feel like in order to last long, you have to have some type of value either to the person or to the community. You know what I mean? You had to be teaching people or elevating people in a sense. So when you not really doing either one of those, normally it's just a hot flash. It's not going to last too long, but I'm never hating. I'm just giving my opinion on what I think, you know, on how I think things are ran or how I think things go, period. But yeah, Esso and Hynaken came through. It was super dope, man. We had fun. And for me, it gives me the opportunity to showcase my talents on another level, to see if I have what it takes to run with the big dogs, to see if I can sit down and carry a conversation, express my opinion, and all those things amongst people who I pretty much look up to. You get what I'm saying? Like, I look up to these dudes. I want my podcast to be on the level of their podcast. So I definitely look at it like, all right, this is my opportunity. You know what I'm saying? It's like AI getting that chance to play with Jordan. You know, they may not be Jordan in this industry just yet, but these are dope dudes. So I want to see what I can do when I'm on the court with them. So I can't wait till I put that out and get you guys' opinion and see how it came out. But I think it went well, man. I think it went great. I do know that there are things I need to work on. So it's like, at the beginning of the show, we always like to jump into people's past. So we did jump into people's past, but we didn't really get deep into it because it's two people. So when it's one person, I can really, grind into that and just keep it on one person. But now here I am. I have to cater to two people in a sense. So I can't dive all the way deep on this person and then leave myself with not enough time to go in on that person. So I can only kind of skim. I can only give a little bit. So there wasn't no like true surprises that I dropped. As some shows you see, I drop things that people would feel like, oh my God, how you know that? So I didn't really get to get those type of moments. I think I might got it a little bit, but I did know I know my shit. I'm always going to do my searches, and I'm going to get some information. I'm not going to go into this interview blindly, which a lot of people do. A lot of people come in and they ask you those generic ass questions, and I feel like that's corny, like it's cookie cutter. At that point, you start to ask people the same shit. Oh man, so how did you get into the game? Which I did have to ask, but it was, presented with some prior knowledge first, and then I asked for details. But once you ask that question, you're gonna ask that question to every person. Oh man, how did you get in the game? How did you get in the game? How did you get in the game? Instead, if you do a dive and you find out information, now you can talk about how they got in the game, but now you're doing it with some type of understanding of what they already did. So you can ask them to speak on it and maybe give a deeper insight on how they got into the game. And that right there is what allows you to separate yourself from everybody else who just asks that question on the surface. You know what I mean? Let's dig a little deep. Let's find out a little bit more, because that's the goal over here, is to get deep. You know what I mean? I tell y'all all the time, we want to help people build that connection with their fans and create that core that understands and know them on another level. And we want to be the ones to provide that. But they came through. We killed it. I feel like we carried it. They said they enjoyed it. They can tell what I'm trying to do. They can recognize the talent in me pretty much. You know what I'm saying? They see that I'm working towards taking this to that level. So that was dope, man. And I hope that it opens up doors and help me arrange some things with some other people that I feel like are, people in this space that provide value that I want to be next to or have my name mentioned with. I got some major things lined up. You know what I'm saying? I've been texting a couple people. We got some interviews that's we about to end the year, something major. Like, I'm talking like this the new year, man. The way the end of this year gonna look, the new year, I'm gonna have to go crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to go crazy. I really wish I had some type of backing though. You know what I mean? Like, I never focus on the money, because I always feel like once you start to focus on the money, that's what you start to focus on. So now, everything you do is around money. So now your interviews are going to be chasing dollars. That means that you're going to try to say things chasing, you know what I mean? You're just going to become sort of like a clout chaser, because that's really all clout is. People use clout in order to make money. So when you start doing things chasing clout, it's really like you're chasing money, you're chasing fame. All those things pretty much coexist in a sense. So I never want to be that guy who's chasing a dollar, so and it reflects in my art. I'd rather make my art freely and not even worry about the dollar. So if y'all notice, I don't never really pitch anything to y'all. I'm not really selling anything to y'all. I do need to start selling things in order to keep the boat afloat in a sense. You know what I'm saying? We all got bills we got to pay. So I do need to start monetizing on another level. Like we are monetized. We do bring in a dollar and we make money, through different ways. But I really need to take it to that next level to, for this to become a true business and thrive in this space. You have to make money. And I understand that. And my main thing for wanting money is for better interviews. So when I say I wish I had a backing, it's because I want to bring y'all some quality interviews. I want to bring y'all some people from all over the world that I can really dig deep with. You know what I'm saying? That I could expose y'all to something special. You know what I'm saying? I do this for y'all. I want to give y'all that experience. So in order for me to do that, I have to pay some coins to get these people here. So, I'm going to be working on that. But, man, if I had a backing and we was able to get those people that these other people be getting, man, we be out of here. We be to the moon because, our shit is that good. I know how y'all rock with me. Y'all know how we rock with each other. You know what I'm saying? Y'all going to carry, and I'm going to always bring it for y'all. But beyond that, great shit coming. Great shit coming. Be on the lookout. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell because I'm telling you, these next 2 months, November, December, like the end of this month and all of December, it's going to be crazy. Y'all going to be like, damn, Smooth is not playing. Like, this nigga is serious. Yes, I'm very serious. I don't play about, my goals and my aspirations. I'm out here for real, for real. All right. And besides that, we gave a little update. We talked about yesterday's interview. Okay. So, we had Esso and Hynaken. They come from my expert opinion. Now, when we talk, of course, it's like you always feel like you got to bring up and address those things that everybody wants you to address in a sense. Like, they came from Mad Fall from my expert opinion, so everybody wants to know what happened and why it happened. But I'm like, all right, I'm sure people seen it or heard it a million times, and I did mention it to them too. I'm like, I guess some people feel like, oh, well, my fans haven't heard it. And they like, well, if a person fuck with me and they watching this interview because they fuck with me, then 9 times out of 10 they heard it. And I'm like, damn, that is right. But so we spoke on that in a sense. We didn't speak on what happened and what went wrong. We just spoke on, being tired of everybody asking it, which I feel the same way because I want to get Dame on the show. And I always notice how people always ask about Jay-Z while Dame has so much knowledge. And Hynaken spoke on it in a different interview, and it was like, damn, that was you. That was a fire-ass explanation because here you are with the opportunity to talk to somebody who's been in the game and done some amazing things, some trend-setting things, some trailblazing shit. And you want to ask this nigga about Jay-Z, which he's been asked about 1,000,000 times. Like, if them niggas was going to get a reunion going on, that shit would have happened by now. These niggas is getting old. They got kids and gray hairs and shit. Like, they not worried about it. Jay is doing what Jay doing, Dame doing what they doing. Them niggas don't care. But with that being said, there's this pattern we start to discover of how black people never last through success. Like, they always break up. Now, I don't know how it works in other cultures because I don't follow them. So I don't know what happened with NSYNC or Backstreet Boys or, how they even got together to even break up. But when it come to us, it's like, damn, bro, we be having some popping ass collectives and groups going on. But every time they finally reach that success level or that bag is coming, they split up. Somebody drops out, somebody gets dropped. One way or another, they split. And it's like, why? Why does this happen? Like, I'm honestly scared because, I know where we headed. I know where we going. Success is, period, that's going to happen. But I always wonder how it'll play out. Of course, I hold myself to a different standard. Like I said, I don't chase the money, so I always hope that I'm able to, once the money come, process it properly, pay everybody what they deserve and everything like that without there being some type of discrepancies. But for some reason, people always go through it. People get the check, and then there's always somebody who like, damn, I wasn't getting my fair share, or da da da. Or you know, you got Rory and Maul from Joe Buttons. You got Math Hoffer, Heineken, Esso shit, and like everybody fell out with the Math Hoffer shit. Like Bigger, like Space Ghost, all of them. Like they damn near the whole original team, except for the guy with the dreads, and I don't know his name. Like damn near all of them kind of fell off. And it's like, wow, like what happened? Like, is it that niggas not really paying niggas? Or is it that some niggas want to be paid what they don't deserve? Because in this shit, when you on the other side, you can understand a little bit of both sides. So when I hear people's story and they talk about how they wasn't getting their fair share, me being the guy who run everything and do everything and pay everything, I always understand that feeling of, you think your fair share is more than what it truly should be. Like, people are like, you're going to have people that play a role, and everybody's important. But sometimes everybody's not playing their role to the best of their ability. And it's like, everybody wants the most for whatever effort they're giving. They want the most even for the minimum effort. So if you're coming late doing shitty work and only doing it for 5 minutes or something like that, but if you hear there's $1 million check, you're going to want the biggest percentage said person will allow you to have. You're not going to be like, well, I do recognize that I do my job shitty. I'm not here all the time. I don't help provide this or provide that. So just give me this amount. I never heard niggas say that. You know what I mean? I never heard the story where, man, he was real. He understood that his position is, it could be, played by anybody, and he just wanted XYZ. I never hear that side of the story. So I just would like to understand, like, do people understand how that works? When you want to be paid fairly or a certain percentage, you have to provide that level of work. You get what I'm saying? Like, if the check gonna come, don't be thinking you entitled to this just because you was here. Like, yeah, I was here, but anybody would be willing to be there, especially given they see what it is. They see what it's going to become. If you're not investing with money, you're putting your time. Yes, time matters, but we all have time. We can get time from anybody and everybody. So it matters what you're doing with that time while you're here. Are you helping as much as possible? Are you doing everything you need to be doing and then some? You know what I'm saying? Are you creating errors or correcting errors? Are you an asset or a liability? All these things play a role. So we all have to be mindful. We all have to be realistic and understanding. I think that is the best way that we can avoid these type of situations. Because other than that, you always going to get niggas who feel like, man, this nigga got $1 million and he only gave me XYZ. But what did you do? What were you bringing to the table? Because if you understand that the money will eventually come, that means that you need to always be proving yourself an asset. You need to always be providing value. And I don't think people think like that. You know what I'm saying? They don't think like that until the money come. And now you want to do a great job. No. Because when the money come, you're going to expect me to pay you back pay, right? You're going to expect me to be paying all the days that you came. Yeah, you took the chance. It's always a chance that it might not happen, but based by the leader, you gonna know. You know what I'm saying? The person who leading you, you can tell if they got the qualities and the hustle and the drive to make sure that they don't take no for an answer, to make sure that everybody's going to get fed one way or another. I got faith in this brother. And if you don't have faith in that brother, then you're going to bail out. Anybody would. Like, nobody's going to keep wasting their time in something they have no faith in. I don't think it's not smart, one thing, but then why would you? You know what I'm saying? It's like Shorty staying with a nigga and she know he not gonna be shit, never gonna be shit, not shit and all that, and you still staying with him. No, she's gonna get out of there. She's gonna spend her time somewhere else. She's gonna slowly but surely make her exit. And it's okay because the thing is, I've had people who've made exits and they probably didn't believe all the way. You know what I'm saying? That's on them because now you're missing out. But it don't speak on me. Y'all didn't see the vision, so you might have jumped out the jet a little early. You know what I'm saying? You pulled your parachute a little quick. But for those that's there when shit is sizzling and it's cooking, that food eventually got to be done. You know what I'm saying? It's snap, crackle, and popping in the pan. It's going to be time to eat eventually. All you got to do is stick in there and stay patient. You're going to get a plate. But the question is how much going to be on your plate when it happens. And I feel like you got to just always understand that when you working on both ends, everybody have to understand that. Provide. Always be providing. Always be attentive to the goal. And I feel like if you're attentive to the goal, a person's always going to appreciate you. When they understand that you recognize what we trying to do and everything you do is making sure that those things happen and making sure that we look as good as possible while doing those things, we good. We good. But I don't know. I want y'all opinion on why is it that every time the bag come, niggas can't never stick together. Like, it's every time. Like, a lot of people, you go down the line, it gets crazy. It gets vicious. I really do believe though it is this thing of not being realistic. You get what I'm saying? Because if you roll with me from the beginning, no matter what, I'm gonna make sure you good. But end of the day, we have to be realistic. You know what I'm saying? A check can't come and okay, the pivot. Brandon Marshall was going at it with Fred Taylor and all the other guys because they got to the point, I guess, where, you know, he was starting to make money or was about to make money. And there was a conversation about, I guess, Fred Taylor or somebody, one of them, it doesn't even matter who it was. They wanted 25%. And he like, you can't get 25%. And he like, the price for 25% has changed, which makes sense because the value goes up. The longer we do this, the more numbers we get, the more the show becomes, you know, popular, the more it's worth. So yes, yesterday's price is not going to be today's price. And that's in every type of industry. That matters for everybody. It's just like stock. The stock went up. You can't buy in or you can't buy this stock at the same price you could have bought this stock at yesterday. Some stock blew up overnight, but you got to pay that price when you go to get it. So the best thing you can do is do what? Buy it as early as possible. Don't wait until that shit popping. That's too late. You got to take that chance. So when you didn't take that chance, it was all on Brandon Marshall's shoulder. Then it was up to him to make sure that this gets to that point of something that you even wanted to invest in, period, to make this a $1 billion platform. So the thing is, he was paying these people. Now, this is where I think things get iffy. If I'm paying you already, and then let's say you decide to leave or you decide to split and the money came, I was paying you every time. So technically, there's nothing left owed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can choose to give you money out of the goodness out of my heart. Like, damn, you were here. You helped me. I got this large lump sum. Here, I'll be generous and just give you some. But do I technically owe you something as we splitting? You were paid, bro, to an agreed amount. Now, unless it was like, I'm going to pay y'all something, but once we get the check, I'm going to really break you off. Like, we would have to have that conversation. Like, yeah, bro, I'm going to take XYZ for now, but once we get there, I need you to hit me with the bang boom. That's different. Now, if you was like, it don't matter if we get there at any point, this is my number. This is what I need in order to be here. And if you ain't got this, I'm not coming. And as long as you got this, I'm going to rock out. And if you choose to split along the line on the road to success, you paid in full already. You get what I'm saying? You wasn't taking those shorts. How you want extra? I don't understand that part. Like, that's the part that I'm lost at. If everybody was paid by Brandon Marshall, how could he be a scum doing bad business and owing people? Like, you would have to make that make sense for me. Now, unless we had this conversation about the fact that you're going to get set percentage after this, goes viral, after we start popping and making some money. Because if I can make it all the way to the point where I own everything 100%, and I'm fully invested, and I've been spending all my money. I've been broke this whole time. I'm paying everybody else, and I'm broke. And then that money hit. Who would go give out percentages after that? Nobody would. But if you got people who building with you, and they building from the ground up, yeah, you owe them people a percentage or something. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like you could get paid in a percentage, but it got to be realistic. We just got to be always keeping it a being with ourselves. That's what I think would eliminate this issue. You know what I'm saying? Which I said before. But give me your thoughts, man. Give me your thoughts on how y'all think that should play out. And the next topic of order of topic. How do they say that? The next topic of order. We got the Diddy situation. Now, I've been on Instagram scrolling, and it was earlier this morning, and I came across this page that brung up Kim Porter. Now, mind you, the Diddy shit is about Cassie. You know what I'm saying? It was wild because actually, Esso and them was there when all this shit dropped. So we all like looking into it at the same time. So I didn't get to really understand what was going on until this morning. And I see the Cassie shit and all the shit that's in it and the things he done. And it's wild. Like, it's wild. Like, anybody in this space from our era, you know what I'm saying, from the 80s, maybe even some 90s babies, definitely probably some 70s babies. Like the 80s, though, we grew up off of the Diddies and the Jay-Z's. So we have a level of admiration for these guys. So it's like, damn, you don't want to believe these things. You don't want to accept that somebody who you look up to could do this or is doing this. So that shit is crazy. Like, I don't know, you know what I mean? I really don't know what to say. And it's hard. I do have an opinion. But then it's also like these dudes are the same dudes that run everything. That's what makes it hard about this type of industry. There's giants in this industry. These dudes are giants. A lot of your success can sometimes dwell on these people, meaning that if these people say one thing or do something, they can end you. The same way Cassie felt. Like, it's really nothing I can do. I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. If I want to eat, I got to take what I'm getting right now. And it's like, damn. That's a salty joint, man, so it makes it hard to even speak on it all the way, but it's wild. But the part that really got me is as I'm scrolling and I run into the Kim Porter joint. It brung up Kim Porter and her being channeled by a medium. If y'all don't know, a medium is a person who can speak to the dead pretty much. They can communicate with the dead. The dead sends them energy and visions and things of some sort where they're able to explain it to us and make it make sense. So this lady made this video 5 months ago talking to Kim Porter or communicating with Kim Porter's spirit in a sense, or her energy. And Kim is saying some wild stuff. She really poured it all the way out for this lady, down to how she died or speculations on how she died or what she think. And it just opened up my mind in so many ways. So we're going to start with the level one. The level one is just period of everything that was going on. Like, she exposed why these elites pretty much always get caught up in these sexual acts with the same sex, sexual acts with minors. You get what I'm saying? You always heard it, but it always seemed like it just was something they were doing just because they were freaked out. Like, it just was like, these elites like touching little kids just because they elites and they have the ability to do, crazy shit and get away with it. And they get off on the power. You know what I mean? That's the way it's always fed to us. But now she put it into a perspective where though it's like these people may follow a religion in a sense. You know how, like she said, like if you're Christian and you got mass or you go to church or you pray or you do this. So in this said religion, you perform sexual acts and they help you do what you're trying to do. in this instance, I'm gonna just say the shit. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, I can insert it. I'm gonna say insert here.
Diddy is on some kind of spree for removing people who speak about this because he's gay. That is not the issue. I want you to hear me. That's one thing, and he may have his own shame about that, and it may be culturally not right for him, whatever. Get in line in society. That is not what this is. That's not what it is. So what if, and this is an if. This is not an if. This is a what was happening. If you're born into a history and lineage that follows a religion that believes through the art of sexual breaking down and making the person vulnerable, removing the ego and fragmenting the self. So if you're born into, quote, a religion that does that, okay? Which there are religions that do that. Think of like David Koresh. Think of Mormons. Don't yell at me, Mormon people. I'm not talking about your church. You know, you guys are all over saying that. But you understand where they break down. So what is a way to break down a person? A way to break down a person is to take away their internal security. To take away their internal security is to control them. Because once they've lost their sense of self, they're easily manipulated into being what you need them to be. Now take that in terms of children. When we abuse children, okay, in this world, that is what we are doing. They are harboring just an insane amount of insecurity and lack of knowing of strength and self and knowing about source connection because it's been ripped away from them. So what if, instead of saying he's gay, we say that he partakes in ritualistic sodomy passages of rite in order to control the soul body of the physical body of the person? Yes, I know what I just said sounds weird, but what if we are to look at it that way? Because that is what I'm actually believing is going on.
She's saying they would do these things to little kids to harness their energy, pretty much, to kind of detach the soul from the body. And when they detach the soul, they take on the soul pretty much. So if you talented, bright, and energetic, it's like down there, like they sucking your soul out. And now you kind of tethered to them. You stuck to them. They control you in a sense. You're easy to manipulate. All these different things. And it's like, man, that is fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like, it brung a lot of shit and helped me understand it. Like, when you hear all these different stories, you heard this person did it, this person did it, or this person did it. Like, there's this thing with Will Smith recently. Will Smith and Dwayne Martin. So once I hear the shit about Diddy from Kim Porter's side, immediately fucking Will Smith and Dwayne Martin popped in my head. And, and Will Smith, my guy, I think we might even be related. Like, I got a lot of cousins that's called Smiths. Like, Smiths is like my great-grandparents and all of them. So I really think Will might be a cousin of mine. You know what I'm saying? You don't choose who you related to. You know what I'm saying? They're going to do what they do. But Will and Dwayne got caught, some ass action. The lady talk about how the easiest gate or easiest way to create this connection or, still this energy or create this bond is through the back door, which means, that's the easiest way. And that actually is your root chakra. You know what I'm saying? If you start to understand energies and the flows and the different chakras and what they stand for, it makes sense. So now I'm like, damn, the Dwayne shit. And they talking about how, Will was buying them cars and houses and all this shit. And it's the same way with this other shit. They talk about how with Cassie and Diddy, Diddy would do some shit to her and then he would buy Cassie everything she wanted. So it's like all these things look the same. They start to resemble each other. So it's like, it's not a coincidence. You know what I mean? These things are not just happening. There's a reason behind them. Like, you don't get all these gay accusations in the industry for no reason, which the lady brought up a strong point. When everybody hear these things or they act like, oh, somebody might be exposing somebody, they supposed to say something about them being gay. I truly feel like The gay narrative is taken on to hide the true narrative. They rather go with the gay thing because it doesn't expose what they really doing. You get what I'm saying? The whole soul sucking and all that type of shit. It doesn't expose any of that when you run with the gay narrative. And my thing is gay at this point. Like, nobody cares. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's so much going on in the world where it's like, man, we done seen it all. Who gonna stress because you like niggas? All these niggas, like, this shit been going on forever. Is it really gonna be that shocking when you find it out? Like, they've been talking about these parties that these dudes been having forever. But then it starts to open that door. When you talking about these parties, now you're like, damn, was these parties just freaky parties? Or when they was, you know what I mean, and they was doing some other shit. Like, yeah, they was unlocking some other shit. Trying to take their talents to another level. You know what I'm saying? So once you open that door, everything starts to connect. You know, this shit starts shooting off like electric circuits. I'm starting to see the bigger picture and what's going on, and now it all made sense. So I really need y'all to watch that video to get a full understanding of what I'm talking about. If you go and you watch it or I insert it, please drop your, you know what I'm saying? Drop how you feel about it in the comments. And do you see what I see? You know what I'm saying? When it comes in reference to the whole industry. Because these allegations happen everywhere about everybody. So I wonder if it makes sense to y'all how it makes sense to me. And that's the one level. Now, the second level is when this lady was talking to Kim Porter and the information she was getting from her. It was information that Kim Porter could only gather after she passed. And it was so definitive in a sense. Like, that's the reason why, one, I truly believe it. Like, I know a lot of people, they don't want to believe nothing. But at this point in time, when you choose to not believe shit, it's almost like you want to be blind in my mind. Like, at this point, you have to be willing to listen to everything because you never know. Like, you know, you still got niggas out here who probably question if aliens exist. You know what I'm saying? Or they look at, when you tell them to say something about aliens, they look at you crazy. If you one of them type motherfuckers who don't believe nothing, I'm looking at you crazy because you got a problem. That means you that stubborn and got your eyes to the ground that hard that you don't think that anything is possible at this point. We done seen it all, heard it all. But you still not convinced. You fooling yourself now. You know what I'm saying? You want to be blind. You want to be naive. You want to think that fucking Santa Claus is still sliding down the chimney. You know what I mean? That's just how you getting down, which is okay. That's on you. You want to stay blind, stay blind. That might help you get through your day because this shit stressful knowing is all the shit that go on behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I first went down the rabbit hole, that shit had me having nightmares for days. I couldn't sleep, bro. I stopped smoking weed because of that shit. I was high, and that's when they was talking about motherfucker Obama and all these niggas was going to put us in martial law and concentration camps. I'm thinking niggas in helicopters going to drop down and start kidnapping niggas from their cribs, all types of shit. So I was just all the way done. And that's when, like, they was talking about Jay-Z and the Illuminati. I stopped listening to Jay-Z for years after that shit. Like, I'm finally at that point where I can understand how deeper it gets and not on just like a goofy level. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't look at the Illuminati as like these niggas running around in cloaks all the time. But I understand that they can have these rituals and all that type shit. But I get it how it's deeper. It's more intricate, but at the same time, it's still on a human level. And we started to look at it like, I don't know, it just was so far removed from society, so it just seemed so far stretched. But let me not get lost. Let me will it back in, baby. Will it back in. So as I'm saying, Kim Porter was getting information or giving information that she could only get after she died. Like, she talked about knowing there was cameras in her house that somebody else had installed, that she hadn't installed. What might have actually been her cause of death. She was talking about like a nasal spray, and she talked about this candy in the candy jar. Now, the lady or somebody else who critiqued the video didn't understand why the candy in the candy jar. Me, I feel like these people had it going on both ways. Like they were attacking her from multiple angles, meaning the candy or whatever was in that jar, Kim was probably trying to express that was tainted. It was something in it that was fucking with her. And then also the nasal spray that she was using, and she said she don't know who put it there. She couldn't figure it out. The nasal spray thing was something else. And the wild part, like Kim was able to pretty much see everything. But the fact that she didn't know who put these things there, for me, it almost get a little deep. It make it seem like these people play these games in such a way where they almost can block themselves. You know what I'm saying? Once you understand the energies, the frequencies, and the spiritual world, you could probably play the game at a different level, which like just like what they saying, allegedly like Diddy doing. Like they understand these energy things and the ability to harness it and manipulate it to help them get success and money. So why wouldn't you be able to also figure out how to block yourself from being seen by these other spirits or people that's on a different frequency? You get what I'm saying? So I'm getting a little deep. You know, only the deep ones probably gonna be able to, you know, only people who can swim gonna be able to go this deep with me. But she just spoke on things and seen things. Like she even spoke on the fact that she's still around Diddy. Like she's pretty much haunting him. Like she not doing things, but she was saying like she go boo in his face. That mean like you're able to see what Diddy doing. And that got me thinking like, damn. So that mean like every time we turn on porn and shit, like your grandma can see that? You know what I'm saying? Like I always wondered that. I really hope not. Like I hope like they got courtesy. They courteous enough to like, you know, only watch me at times when I'm not doing these type of things. Cause man, that's crazy when you think about it. So it's like if somebody special in your life passed, they always gonna be kind of watching. Like we always say like, yo, somebody was watching over her. It's real. They full on watching over you. Some people have the ability to interfere and everything. So it was like, damn. It just opened up a whole new perspective for me. Like you always wondered, could they be watching you or seeing little things you doing and all that? And then it was like, damn, they can. But I guess it also matters if, you know, like she was saying, like Kim died due to unnatural circumstances, and especially with it being like pretty much like somebody did it. So she's still here to figure that part out or to get justice for that part. So I think that sometimes the person may fully pass. So whereas though they're not lingering and able to see these things, like they went on with their afterlife and they not even worried about you. They might even, you know, became a whole new person. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, that shit got deep, man. That shit got real deep. And the crazy part, like she mentioned the date and everything. She said that this Diddy shit, Kim told her. Like she was talking to Kim and she's telling me November 2023, November 15th, 2023. But she's like, her death date was November 15th of 2018. So she's telling me that November 15th of 2023, all of this shit will be exposed. Like he's going to be exposed. There's nothing he can do to stop it. There's something's going to happen. Somebody's going to come forward and tell the truth. So, you know, of course it's why, because we know that there's so many people that could be stepping up. There's always somebody stepping up saying something and exposing something. So you never know what she was talking about, but it being Cassie, another girlfriend, it's pretty, you know, one and the same. So it was like, damn, that shit, wow. And to help you even understand that they can understand and see the future. But it's like when you start understanding frequencies and all this shit, man, the world turns into a whole different thing because you understand that time ain't really like time. Like we use time to measure, but they say shit is frequencies. So when it comes to going to the future, to the past, it's about frequencies. So if you're able to manipulate these things, you could be in this place at this time. Like it's like quantum physics. It's quantum mechanics in a sense. And I feel like they're able to do that in the afterlife or, you know, being a spirit. Because how else would she know when it's gonna go down? She's seen it. They've somehow figured all this, you know, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just putting that shit out there. Take it as you will. You know what I'm saying? You might see it from my perspective. You may not. You might be like, oh, this nigga smooth tripping. I hope you don't think I'm tripping because I am still a regular nigga. So I do, I am me. But I do go down these rabbit holes because this shit gets crazy. It's just something to occupy your mind sometimes because, we all got bills and shit to pay. Sometimes you don't feel like focusing on that. So you just go mind some other shit, go figure something else out, go look into something else, learn something new. That's another thing too. You might learn something that might help you with your journey and help you figure out how you should be living your life once you're exposed to the true understanding of how life works and the shit that really goes on. But that's really it, man. I think that's all I wanted to talk about today. Yeah, be on the lookout, man. We got a lot of things coming up. A lot of good shows lined up, man. I talked to some people that I know y'all gonna be excited about. I just don't want to say names because I hate saying names. I feel like if you say a name, then something happens, and now the interview or whatever it was that you was about to do goes left. So you never count your eggs before they hatch. So just be on the lookout. Hit the subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. Make sure you're keeping up with Cooking Up. And send me some up and ideas for the name of this show. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to just be not knowing the name. I want to be able to get some old fly cover shit made and all that. Get the imagery done. I need a name though, man. I thought about desserts. Let me know. Do y'all like desserts? I'm trying to keep up with the cooking up thing. Like, we had cooking up. We had lunch break. I would like to call this lunch break, but lunch break was already done and it had multiple people in it. But it is like the same thing as where I'm able to talk about anything. I could call it lunch break. It'll be just me. And if I change it, I change it. I don't know. That might be what I do. I might just let this be lunch break and it just be me. Because it's like I'm taking a break from cooking up. Cooking up is the main meal or the main job. And this is lunch break. And we shooting the shit on our lunch break. You get it? I don't know. If you get it, let me know. If you don't get it, tell me you don't get it. So we can figure that shit out together, you know what I'm saying? But y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Smooth. This is AKA might be the new lunch break. I'm out of here. Let's go.